Hi everyone, I'm here at ASN 2025 with Thomas Weimbs.
Hi everyone, Thomas Weimbs here. I'm Chief Scientific Officer and President of Center of Nutrients. Good to see you.
I am Melina Messing and I'm here to talk to Thomas about this exciting interim analysis of our clinical trial in Japan. Will you give us a little introduction about it?
Yeah, sure. So this is a trial that's in full swing right now. The enrollment goal is 200 patients altogether, and it's for a one-year intervention. So a fairly large trial, long-term intervention. It's done at Juntendo University in Tokyo, Japan, and directed by Professor Shigeo Horie there and his team. So all the work is really done by their team. We're just presenting the poster here because they're not at the conference, but I'm here, so I might as well present it. And what we have here on the in the results is an interim analysis. So this is not yet the final results, because the study is still ongoing. Recruitment is still ongoing, but we have data for a good handful of patients that have finished the 3-month mark. So it's a 3-month interim analysis. And in particular, there's 23 patients in the intervention group, and I believe 7 in the control group, so it's still early days. The intervention is KetoCitra, so the medical food KetoCitra, together with nutritional changes. So it's a ketogenic diet, that's the Ren-Nu Program, essentially. So it's exactly what we're doing in the Ren-Nu Program. We're teaching patients the ketogenic diet, and they take KetoCitra every day. So the question is, what happens?
Yeah, that's what everyone really wants to know. What did you find so far? Given that you're presenting it, I guess we're already seeing some trends, so maybe something significant. So what did you find?
Yeah, so surprisingly, or maybe not to me at least, is that we actually already have significant results. So significance in science terms means use a statistical method to determine whether something is just random chance or whether it's actually a real result. And so one thing that's maybe not surprising is a statistically significant decrease in body weight, in fat mass, essentially.
Very typical on a ketogenic diet.
Right, exactly. And that's very expected. So the patients in the intervention group show a decrease in body weight, in particular in fat weight. And that's statistically significant and expected. The other result is a decrease in total kidney volume. Right, and that is something that's one of the important outcomes of the study is measuring total kidney volume by MRI scan, essentially determining how large are the kidneys. Right, and the holy grail is to stabilize the kidneys, right, where you just want to stop further growth of the kidneys. But what we're seeing here is goes even beyond that. We see actually a decrease of total kidneys.
Isn't it right that in history of PKD, the reduction in TKV is never really ever seen? It always goes up, either stays the same or goes up, right?
Right, yeah, so the natural history of polycystic kidney disease is such that kidneys only get larger over time. They don't ever spontaneously just shrink. That's not a thing. And even in with drug intervention, decreasing total kidney volume is also not a thing, right? And that cannot be achieved by pharmacotherapy. But what we see here is, and we can put the picture onto the video later. We see a statistically significant decrease in total kidney volume, which is actually also what we saw in our previous randomized controlled trial that was published about a couple of years ago. That was done in Germany at the University of Cologne. Same result, decrease in total kidney volume. That's also the same that we see in animal studies. In our rat and mouse studies in the lab, we see decreases there.
I've also seen it from just anecdotal evidence from just individuals who are trying this approach on themselves, including myself. So it's wonderful to see it now being also shown in the clinic. To me, also not a surprise, but it's amazing to see.
Mm-hmm, yeah, of course, it's important to note that it's early days in this particular trial. So the expectation is, the hope is that this will continue after 1 year. And we will find out, that's why we're doing this study. That's the whole point of doing this study.
Did you already mention the kidney function as well?
I didn't. So kidney function is also one of the important outcomes that's measured by creatinine-based EGFR. And there was a trend towards an improvement in kidney function, so an increased EGFR that just missed statistical significance. So we would expect, as more and more patient results come in, that this also becomes statistically significant. Yes.
Yeah, and we can kind of predict that just because we have already hundreds of people who went through our Ren-Nu program, and there we saw a statistically significant increase in EGFR. And then there's also a lot of anecdotal evidence as well from just individuals trying it. So I think with more N, that's probably going to be the same.
Right. Absolutely agree. One other outcome that's on the poster here is that total liver volume also decreases, and that was again significant. So that is good news for patients with PKD, because very often they have enlarged livers as well, cystic liver disease. So, and that can cause pain and all kinds of complications.
And that's a worry I've heard from nephrologists, like, what about the liver? Is that going to be a problem? And it's nice to see that the liver equally seems to benefit from this approach.
Right, yeah, absolutely. One other thing to note is, people are always wondering, how easy is it to adhere to a diet like this, a strict diet? I would say it all depends on how well it is taught. How do you teach the diet to patients, and that's where the Ren-Nu program comes in. So this here is sort of the Japanese version of the Ren-Nu program, if you will. So the meals, the recipes and the meal plans are all adapted to culturally to Japanese food, of course. But otherwise, it's very similar to what we're doing here in the U.S. Ren-Nu program. So patients really learn the ins and outs of a ketogenic diet, how to implement it safely, how to avoid things like oxalates and inorganic phosphate food additives, and how to make it sustainable. Also how to measure their own parameters, the blood glucose, the blood ketones, and how to take all that into account. And I think that's really the key to make a nutritional change lasting and possible.
Yeah, for sure. And while we're using the principles of ketogenic metabolic therapy, we do teach it in a personalized approach. So it's not a one-size-fits-all. We do allow for your preferences, whether that is eating more animal-based foods or plant-based, or carnivore, vegetarian. We'll try to make it work for what works for you, and taking your own personal situation into account.
Yeah, good. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's on the poster right now. So I would say stay tuned for. So we're actually planning to publish this in a scientific journal, so then everyone can read all the details about it. And of course, we're awaiting the the results of the actual 1 year outcomes of the study. That will naturally take some time. It'll probably take a couple of years, until all the recruitment is done and every single patient has gone through the 1 year study. So that's just how it goes. Science is slow, but it shouldn't stop anyone from just doing something for themselves, for their own health. That you can do any day, any day of the week.
So if someone is watching this and they're like, oh, what should I do to get started? What would you tell them?
So, ideally with the help of your own doctor, discuss things. There's very little downside to doing to cleaning up a diet, for example, right? So most people are potentially on a standard American junk food diet, which is never good. With lots and lots of carbohydrates and all kinds of processed foods. So there's lots of room for improvement for many people. I always recommend start with KetoCitra if somebody qualifies for it, because that's the easiest thing to do, the easiest change to implement, and then work on cleaning up the diet. which is difficult for a layperson to figure out what to even do, what to even clean up. And that's the whole point of the Ren-Nu program is that's all being taught there in great detail. And actually Melina, as a scientific director, has done an amazing job setting it all up and setting up the curriculum. So I think it's a fantastic program that can help a lot of people. And it doesn't matter too much, if someone has a busy lifestyle or not, because the program is really self-paced, and you can start anytime you want. So pick the best time, maybe during a vacation or during a summer break or whatever it is in somebody's life, and just get going.
Yeah, and we do throughout the program provide education around how to actually make it work in a busy lifestyle. I myself live this lifestyle now for or nearly 3 years, and I am, live a busy life, going to conferences, and I'm still able to make it work because I got that education and I know what I do now and what I have to do now. So come join us in the program. We're a group of experts that would love to help other patients get there as well. Well, thank you so much for the chat, Thomas. This data from a PKD patient perspective is so amazing. I am so glad to see that in the PKD space, there's finally something that PKD patients can look forward to and to come out, and something they can do for themselves right away, which is fantastic, and it's really what we needed. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that you do and for this great data. And thank you everyone for watching.